Hello, and welcome to the Star Seeds and Lightworkers Collective. My name is Crystal, and tonight marks our premiere broadcast on YouTube. For those of you who have been members of our meetup group, we welcome you to our new platform. This evening, we have the pleasure of welcoming you with our guest, Oracle Skai Quantum Healer. She will be guiding us on an exploration of the Galactic Federation of Light and their presence and influence on planet Earth. After her presentation, she will be providing us with a guided meditation and a sacred symbol to focus on so that we can raise our energy to 5D. So before we begin, I would like to purify our space and our energy. Okay, well, that's great. So, Oracle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you, Crystal?
I'm doing great, and I'm so happy to have you here with us. So, this is great, and I just wanted to say thank you for being here with our members. And so, for our members who are joining us for the first time, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you want, you can subscribe as well. So, I'm really looking forward to that. So, Oracle, should we get started with the slideshow?
Sure, Crystal. Thank you so much.
No problem. So, let's get started. So, we'll just get
Hello, everyone. My name is Oracle Skai. I am a mystic, a guru, a sleeping psychic, a quantum healer, a telepathic galactic coach. I am also a medical psychic, and I created my own version of healing I call the Smart Body Mythology. I am also the founder and CEO of Oracle Skai School of Unlearning. I was born and raised in Jamaica, West Indies, and I lived in Germany as well before moving to the United States. Both of my grandparents in Jamaica and Germany were healers, gypsies, shamans, and sleeping psychics. I teach clients in my school how to unlearn beliefs and paradigms that are taught from birth, then how to relearn using the higher faculties of the mind, and also the necessary tools that I bring into my school. Many of us are not aware that we have a higher faculty of the mind, and so I teach this in my school. I also guide, mentor, counsel. I teach, I heal, I inspire, and I communicate with all of our deceased loved ones and deceased pets as well. I do this in my dream state, similar to Edgar Cayce as a sleeping psychic. I do all of my intuitive and psychic work and also my mediumship work in my dream state. So I heal when doctors do not heal. I work together with collective consciousness and the Galactic Federation of Light in order to orchestrate healing through the scanning of your vibrational bodies. I use a technique that I created called the Light Force technique. And that simply means that all of us are made of light. I know that many of you you're not able to see the light going in and out of your being, but it's there. So I can see the light force in your body, and I can see when your light force is dimming. So part of my light force technique is teaching you what you can do to bring that light back in really strong in your body. With that ability, I have the sight to see disease or disorder in your 7 bodies. As an enlightened being, I work collectively with higher beings and source in order to heal with my hands, my voice, my thoughts, my vibration, my energy, and my entire being. Just to be in my presence is healing for everyone. Many of my clients receive quantum healing sessions with me and the Palladians. So I shift, I transmute souls as an ambassador of the Galactic Federation. I also channel source, divinity, and higher beings along with my autistic son to bring in messages to all of humanity. So who is the Galactic Federation of Light? The Galactic Federation of Light is an alliance of extraterrestrial beings from many different dimensions and planets. They are the governing body of Source, God, Goddess, Divinity. They are in charge of Earth's ground crew, responsible for training, assisting, and guiding the ground crew in any form. If you have not heard of Earth's ground crew, that would be the light workers, the star seeds, the way showers. They are here to serve Gaia, not just humanity. So they protect all beings and planets in our sector of the universe. They make sure malevolent beings do not destroy planets or harm beings. The Galactic Federation has been around longer than the mind can imagine. They focus on the preservation of all sentient life. They particularly assist in our ascension, helping to raise our vibrations. The Galactic Federation consists of Palladians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Lyrans, Syrians, Blue Avians, Pika Beans, Orions, Shamalines, Beasts, and many, many more. They are here on Earth assisting with the ascension of Gaia, and they remove all of the reptilians, the draconians, the clones, and our world's governments who have enslaved humanity for thousands of years. The Galactic Federation of Light, they inhabit Antarctica with over 500 plus types of galactic beings to monitor Earth and humanity. They are not to be underestimated. They have advanced technology that humans cannot conceive. All nuclear weapons and fusion bombs were dismantled on Earth years ago. They do not exist here on Earth anymore. So if you suspect that there will be a World War III, it will never happen. We have already shifted into a new timeline where World War III will never occur on Earth again. So how did they find me? Approximately 20 to 25 years ago, I tapped into the Kundalini energy using breath work and deep meditation in exactly 30 days. On the 30th day, I was 4 hours into a meditation when a bright light opened up to me, just like a portal, and a voice spoke to me. The voice said, "Be still, beloved." I felt my crown chakra open up. My body started to move like a wave, and I felt a tingle in my toes, then in my knees. Then the energy pulled me out of my body straight through my crown chakra. A guru by the name of Yogananda was sitting in a Merkaba. He looked at me and he said, "Welcome, beloved." And he touched me in the middle of my forehead with his finger. Immediately, my whole being busted into 1,000 pieces of ecstasy. When I returned, it felt like I had left my body for years, but it really was only 30 minutes. I had a major Kundalini awakening, forcing me to open up my ego. I immediately started going through several dark nights of the soul. And as I began to ground and come back to myself, I felt the energies of higher beings surrounding me, not just the Galactic Federation, but my guides and all of my ancestors who had transitioned. I started hearing whispers with a voice telling me what I was to do. The more I meditated and focused on the silence, I began to channel, and now I channel higher beings, source, divinity with my autistic son as well. So the galactic beings that I work with is Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is one of my many archangels and spiritual warrior of the light. He guides, protects, trains, and he is the champion of justice. I am very in tune with Archangel Michael. He is a galactic warrior of light that carries a chalice, a blue sword, and a blue shield of light to protect all of those who follow him. I can call on him at any time, in any circumstances. Ashtar Command. I also follow Ashtar Command. He is the #1 commander in fleet that is part of the galactic law enforcement of Source of Prime Creator. He is a Nordic being, and he plans to arrest all of those here in humanity who committed crimes against humanity. He brings messages about the status of Earth and anything pertaining to the reptilians, Draconians, and the Orions. The Palladians. The Palladians originate from the Pleiades. They are a collective of multi-dimensional spirit beings whose mission is to assist humanity with the process of spiritual transformation and liberation. There are many starseeds here on Earth from various galactic regions. Once my past life of being a Palladian starseed returned to me, I knew my purpose. I began to wake up to my many past lives after my awakening, and I am now up to approximately 1,000 lives and more. And out of these 1,000 lives that I recalled, only 5 was on Earth. Palladian starseeds haven't been reincarnated on Earth by mistake or for no reason. In fact, the Palladian starseeds have volunteered to incarnate on Earth to help raise the spiritual vibrations and consciousness of humanity and our planet, dear Gaia. They have a deep understanding of cosmic truth, universal laws, and humanity's greatest potential. The Palladians were the first seeders of Earth in the Great Experiment. How do I receive my downloads? All of my downloads are received through deep meditation, channeling, my dreams, my quantum eyes, and telepathy as well. Why did the Galactic Federation come to Earth? They came to Earth more than 100 years ago in order to wake up humanity and in order to assist for the shift of the ages. It has been very difficult because 99% of humans, they're still stuck in the 3D matrix and not remembering that they are spiritual beings. A new plan was implemented starting from 1970 forward to bring in the 144,000 in order to covertly bring in the light of Christ consciousness. The last time we attempted to bring in the light of Christ consciousness was through Yeshua. And we want you to know that his name was never Christ, or Jesus. It was Yeshua. And this was approximately 2,000 years ago. And when Yeshua came, he was not alone. Any prophet that comes in through Prime Creator does not come in alone. Yeshua had the Essenes, he had the Sacred Mothers, and he actually had over 200 disciples who all led the way even before he came to earth. The plan then was for the Golden Era, but it was too soon for humanity. Dark forces and dark entities. We have to recognize that dark forces and dark entities are also galactic beings. They also have good and bad, just like we do. Dark forces took over Earth over 26,000 years ago. And what they did was they changed the grids of Earth and they changed the grids in our bodies. That created the illusion of separation from source in each other. They also created old age in our cells, in our DNA. The original blueprint was for all of us to live forever on a planet full of love and light and unity and peace and harmony. So time is running out and we are going into the here and now. Time is quickly running out and we are going into the here and now, which means that all we have right now is the here moment. The illusion of time and duality is no longer needed. We are approximately down to 12 to 14 hours a day. In order to shift into the 4D world, we all have to purge and release out all the lower states of being. So when I say time is quickly running out, remember that we live in duality. We live in linear time, so we are used to the clock, right? We're used to waking up a certain time, going to sleep a certain time. But this is an illusion. Everywhere else in the universe, there is absolutely no time, just the present moment. And so as time is running out, if we are not prepared, you can lose your mind. Imagine waking up and seeing daylight at 3 a.m. That would scare anyone, right? So I come in as a prophet, if you want to say, to come in and show everyone that something is happening, the shift is occurring. Most people are so stuck on social media, the news, which is very, very unreal, right? The distractions of life is pulling everyone so much that they're not noticing just the difference in time. Pay attention to the time when you wake up in the mornings and when you go to sleep. You can already feel it in your being that time is shifting, because some days you don't know. Is it Monday? Is it Friday? What time is it? The clock is really running out. Time is collapsing into itself. And once we get to the here and now, that also means that you're going to start to manifest things you want and don't want very quickly. If you haven't noticed it already, there are many people who are coming to me and saying things are happening and it's not so great. Yes, because now that time is moving faster, so is your mind, so is your thoughts, so is your feelings. And if you don't have those things in check, you're going to run into a lot of issues, a lot of problems. So Earth is returning to her original form of love and light. So as I mentioned before, Gaia initially was made to be a planet of love, light, unity, harmony. Not this dualistic world that we have now with hate and anger, jealousy, all of those dark emotions and thoughts and feelings. Earth is already on her way to 5D, and most of us are stuck in 3D trying to get into 4D. Some people have already made it over into 4D, But the majority of the planet is still stuck. Everyone is stuck on race, religion, and culture. So what happens when you find out that you are none of that? You're not a race, you're not a culture, you're not even your name. What happens when you find out in a very short time that you are a galactic being? You have galactic origins. And if you think that's going to blow your mind, there will be more to come. So we have to start preparing ourselves for this open disclosure that's happening already. We're seeing it. UFOs in the sky. Even the sun has been different. And why do you think they're doing the chemtrails? Because they're blocking up the rainbow around the sun. What we call the rainbow bridge has been here for years. When your quantum eyes open up, you can see the rainbows in the sky. The clouds are rainbows. The sun has a beautiful halo around it every single day. But they use the chemtrails to block it out. If you use your camera, take a picture as they're blocking it out, and you can catch that rainbow. But our planet was never meant to be a dark planet or a planet full of, dualistic things, good and bad, right and wrong. So right now there's portals on Earth that has returned. And no one will know where these portals are. They're undisclosed to everyone. But these portals have been here for some time, and benevolent beings are coming into Earth. They're here. They're coming in to assist with ascension. Many masters that were here and left have returned because they understand we're at the point of no return. If we continue on Earth in 3D, we have nowhere to go. Our planet will become inhabitable and no one will be here. This is why we're ascending. We're shifting our vibrations into a higher state of being so we can enjoy ourselves, enjoy the planet as it was meant to be. So new 5D energies have returned to Earth to increase our vibrations and help all of humanity shift into the golden era, the 5D world. These 5D energies have been coming in for a very long time. It's been at least 20, 30 years. And these new 5D energies are coming in through the sun. It's coming in through the light workers, the star seeds. It's coming in from higher beings, the Palladians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans. All of us are working collectively to bring in these 5D energies. And as we shift, what happens if there is the great solar flash? We may need it or we may not need it. If we raise our vibrations up enough, we will not need a great solar flash, right? But if we don't raise our vibration up enough, and I mean collectively, we will need a solar flash. And the solar flash is the love light of Prime Creator, and it comes in to completely clear out all lower densities. So anything left in 3D will be purged out immediately. And so if you haven't raised your vibration enough to 4D, that means you're not going to make it. You will transition out immediately. And even though the great solar flash was scheduled to happen some time ago, Prime Creator has given us the time, because we still have free will, given us the time to collectively work together to love each other, to respect each other, and bring our vibrations up naturally without anyone helping us. These beings that are here are not here to assist us with that part. We all have to figure it out as one, as a collective. And if we get to that point where we cannot figure it out, then the great solar flash comes in, purges out everything left of the 3D world, and that means at least 85% of people on this planet will transition. That's a lot. That's a big number. And so many of us starseeds, light workers and way showers, we don't want that. We spend our lives meditating all day, sitting in nature all day. We consistently raise our vibrations every day, all day. We don't watch television. We don't go out and do things. Our intent and main focus is our brothers and sisters of light who are still asleep. When you have awoken to who you are and what your purpose is all about in each moment, you don't want to do anything else but hold love and light for your brothers and sisters to help them make it through. So even though the Galactic Federation is here to assist us, we have free will. So use your free will to decide, what do I want to do? Do I want to move into a higher state of being, or do I want to stay here in 3D world and continue to go through duality? The challenges, the struggle, the hate, the contempt, the racism, all of it. Everyone has that decision to make.
No.
So humanity is to prepare for their arrival starting 2025 forward. Many light workers like myself, we're already in contact with higher beings. We see them and we communicate with them. They will be in our skies with thousands of ships communicating with us in every language. And they are coming to reveal the truth about our enslavement. Many of us are not aware that we're still in bondage to our world's governments. But the world governments do not run the world. Dark forces does. They're behind the scenes, and many people are not aware of that. And it's time for everyone to wake up to the truth. So all of the benevolent beings, they're coming. They're already here. But when 2025 kicks in, they're coming by the thousands. They're no longer hiding and saying, you know, Earth is alone. We've been taught since children that we live in this sector of the universe by ourselves. There's no other sentient life, and that's just not true. So they're coming to tell us the truth. And what they're saying is, when they come, they're not bringing the mothership because it's not necessary. They're coming in smaller ships by the thousands. But what they will do is they will put a broadcast on our televisions. They will put it everywhere so that in every language they can communicate with us to let us know why they're here and to reveal the truth to us about our bondage, about us being sovereign beings, and how our rights as a sovereign being was stolen from us. We got tricked out of our sovereignty. And even worse, all of us have powers, real powers. All of the superhero movies that you see, all of the comic books that you read, it's you, it's me. And when you can start to let go and release and purge out the 3D world, you start to wake up to the magic within you. You start to recognize, oh my goodness, there really is something here that I'm not aware of. It is your superpower. It's been too long that we have been dormant and not recognizing our sovereignty. And this is why they're here. They're coming to help us, to remind us of our sovereignty. We are actually back into the age of Aquarius, the age of truth. And this is only the beginning. Life is about to get super amazing in 2025. The last time we had an age of Aquarius was 26,000 years ago with Lemurian Atlantis. And back then, we didn't get it right. That's why we're here now. We fell from grace, which means we fell from God's source, prime creator, right? And so now here we are again, but this time we will not let it go by. We will not skip the opportunity to wake up to 5D world. There's so much waiting for us in 2025. There will be abundance for everyone, prosperity for everyone, as it was meant to be. All of us can remember from the moment we were born till now, our world being in an imbalance, right? We have millionaires, we have celebrities and politicians who are rich, 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 so much money. And then we have others on the low end who have nothing. How do we live in a world where we walk past people that are homeless or hungry or suffering and do nothing? Nothing. It's not okay. This has to change, and it's changing next year. All of those people that are rich, the millionaires, the celebrities, the politicians, they will be brought down to nothing. And you can see it. It's already happening in your social media, on the news. You see it happening. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And it needs to. The system has been corrupt for too long. And in order for things to be in balance, we just have to bring all of those things tumbling down. So you have to prepare yourself for what you're going to see, what you're going to hear, because it's going to be a lot. Some people will not be able to handle the truth. There is also a new system coming in, a quantum financial system, to make sure everyone will be okay financially. We will no longer need money. We will start to learn about the source of abundance, us. You are your only source of abundance. But if you're not aware of it and you think you need to go to a job, you think you need to do something to bring in money, it limits you. You can't see the abundance within you because of that limitation, because of that lack. And it takes time and consistency to kind of go backwards in time and come back to the way you started. When you first came in as a baby, you were divinity. You were God. You were source. You didn't want anything. You didn't need anything. This is the state of being that you need to get back to, where you can walk earth and not judge a single person, not criticize a single person. Every single sentient being you run into, you just have love and light and nothing else. This is where you need to get back to. If you cannot have a pure heart, a pure awareness, you will not even make it into the 4D world. So we have a lot to do. There is a lot to do in order to shift into a higher state of being. So I think that's it, Crystal.
Okay. So should we do a 10-minute meditation?
Okay.
Okay, great. So we'll start with the music, and we'll also have the sacred symbol for those of you who want to focus on the sacred symbol. And Oracle, if you want to also do a guided meditation, that's fine as well. So we'll also load up the sacred symbol. So
Okay. Did you want me to let everyone know what the guided meditation was?
Yeah, sure. So I'll just put up the symbol, and then we can get started with the meditation. This one.
Okay, so this meditation is 432 hertz. It is alpha waves to heal your whole body, your spirit, your emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual being.
Okay. Wow. That's great, Oracle. Thank you so much for allowing us to have that beautiful meditation and at a beautiful symbol. So, can you just remind us again what that symbol represents?
Oh, that symbol is only for peace and unity.
Okay, great. Perfect. All right. So then I think we'll start to get to the questions. I know we have a lot of people with a lot of good questions. And so I'm just going to go into the chat here. So I'd like to just say it's great that everybody is here tonight. And let me just get over here. And we have a lot of good questions in the chat. So I'm just going to try and look and see here. We had a lot of people who had some questions. So I'll just get over here. Just 1 second. There we go. Okay, so some of the questions. So I had a really good question at the beginning. And I had a good question here, I think. Let's see now. I had somebody who was asking, what do we need to do in order to get ourselves out of 3D and into the 4D? Are there any certain ways that we can work to getting those, getting our vibration to the other level?
There is so much to do, Crystal, but I'll start with the basics. The first thing you want to recognize is, who are you? Ask yourself, who am I? Right? Because we are not who we think we are, right? So you want to start the process of asking, who am I? To give your guides the permission to start revealing the truth to you, right? The next thing you want to do is recognize low vibrational people, places, and things in your life. So if you have behaviors like smoking and drinking, stop doing that. That lowers your vibration. If you're around negative people, people that gossip and complain, remove yourself from that group. If on social media all day, watching the news all day, those things lower your vibration. You can remove yourself from that atmosphere. You can start there.
Okay. That's good. And so I have a question here from Caroline. She says, are there portals that are toxic, imbalanced, allowing darker forces or beings into our planet, causing conflict and wars? That's an interesting question because we often...
Thank you for asking that. Well, once upon a time there were, but now that the Galactic Federation and the Council of Worlds have taken over the planet, that is no longer happening.
Okay.
In fact, we are down to very few dark forces left on Earth. The chaos that you're seeing, wars or whatever you're seeing is happening, it's a very small amount now. All of those dark portals have been closed off and no longer on Earth.
Okay, that's excellent. Okay, so I'm going to pass on to the next question. So I have something here from Sienna Jackson, and she asked, how do I reach my higher self or mindfulness? How do I download better? So I think she wants to ask is, how can she receive more downloads?
Well, I can't give you an explanation to that because that's a process. But what I can do is tell you, you can contact me. I have different ways that I gave to Crystal to contact me. And I actually have a course, How to Tune Into Your Higher Self. It's a course that you can take yourself online, and it will help guide you to discover your higher self and what you need to do.
Okay, that's good. And so I have another question here from Laura Lockwood, and she says, what can we do as individuals to raise our consciousness to the understanding of the oneness of all things? I can believe and say to myself, I am one with all that is, but to actually feel it within. So I think some people I think what some people are also saying is that, I think people have this expectation it's going to be this sort of Hollywood type of presentation where you're going to have lights and all kind of stuff happening. But I don't know, is that how it really happens? Or is it just a little bit more subtle? Because all these energies are very subtle.
Well, I think, what happens is It's one thing to say, I am love, I am light, and stay positive for 10 minutes or even 30 minutes. But beyond that, you will not be able to hold on to that positive vibration because you live in a world of duality your whole life. And so who you think you are, you're not, right? The program comes in from the time you're born. And what does the program do? It shows you who you are not anymore. You're not divinity anymore. So now you're your parents, your friends, church, religion, culture, race, all of those things are within you now. That's who you are right now. So what you have to do is go backwards in time. You have to unlearn. And that's why I created my school, Oracle Skai School of Unlearning.
Okay.
I teach you how to unlearn, and then I give you the higher faculties of the mind that's not being taught in school. We are uniquely made to communicate with the universe in a certain way, and that's not being brought up in school, in college, nowhere. They don't want you to know.
And it's interesting though, because a lot of, I think there's some people that some schools are starting to change because a lot of people realize that the standard school that we have now is based on this very draconian,
Right.
very sort of like 19th century Victorian type of like, shoving information to people's heads just to regurgitate. We're also not being taught how to think.
Yes. Right. And guess what? In order to communicate with the universe, there's no need to even think.
Okay.
It is only a feeling, and that feeling is right there within you. But if you can't tap into it because you're stuck in this 3D world, what's the way out? You got to go backwards in time and unlearn the program. So, and they can reach out to you with whatever contact I give you to reach out to me, and this is what I teach. This is what I do.
Okay. I think we have a presentation that you have coming up as well on the meetup group as well on your School of Unlearning. So for our members who are joining us for the first time, and also for those of you who are part of the meetup group of the Starseeds and Lightworkers Collective, Oracle Skai will be teaching a course earlier next year on the School of Unlearning. So definitely check that out. And if we can, we'll also do another presentation here on YouTube as well. So I'll just get to the next question. So I have something here from Sienna Jackson. What do I do if I think my boyfriend is an Orion rep? I'm pretty sure that that's Tamlin from Akotar. I'm not sure if that makes any sense there, but yeah. Did you want to answer that or?
Well, you know what? There really is nothing you can do. But if you feel that is the case for you, then that means that you had that experience to help you in some shape or form, right? You decide which way you want to move with it. But we're all surrounded by them. They're here, just like we're here, right?
Yes.
So choose to make a decision to leave, stay, whatever it is, you have the free will to do that. But if you are in that position right now, it means that you came in to that relationship to have an experience to teach you how to learn, to grow, and expand. So you have a decision to make on, am I staying or am I leaving? And why? Why am I here in this experience right now? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, but you know what though? At one point you'd mentioned how a lot of us have come to this planet at this time because we want to be a part of this whole shift into this whole transition. And what I've noticed is that a lot of people are starting to recognize, it's funny because I had that same thing happen to me recently where I said, you know what? I think that I am an Andromedan. There's a lot of things about who I am and how I think. And I said, and it just sort of popped into my head the other day. And I said, I think I'm an Andromedan. So I'm thinking there are also a lot of people who have a past not on this planet. Yes, we've had many past lives and we've had lives in other planets as well, but I think there are a lot of people who are on the planet right now who their last life were either Orions or Andromedans or Pleiadians or all that kind of thing. So I think that we all are carrying that right now.
Well, yeah, that was part of my presentation. Is all of us are part of that galactic family. And so here comes in, we're going to start to find out that we're not human at all.
Yeah.
We galactic lineage within all of us. Every single one of us are part of that galactic origin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So I'll get to the next question. I have another one here from Nina. And how do we step out of fear and fully trust when the anxiety has been so convincing? That's a good question.
That's really tough,
Yeah.
Nina. Because what happens with fear is, number one, it's built in from day one, right?
Yeah.
And the only fears we came in with is the fear of falling and the fear of sound, because we need that, right? We need that in case of emergency. But the other fears were built in to our cells, their DNA. And it's important to know that that's how deep the level of fear gets. It's in your cells, it's in your DNA, right? So in order to come out of that, you have to, again, unlearn everything that you learned up until now. Because also what happens with fear is it trickles from your mind and down into your body.
Exactly.
That's what creates PTSD, right? Your body becomes the mind, right? And so we learn all of those behaviors that program us into fear in such a way that it just grips your whole soul, your whole being. But it really is an illusion, right? And I learned this through going through the program myself. I taught myself how to unlearn the program. It was not easy, but I didn't want to give up. I knew I had a greater purpose, right? So it's going to take time. You can't do it by yourself, not at all. But what you can start to do is start to observe each moment that you can. How are you feeling? How do I feel in this moment? And if you're feeling something in a lower state of being, fear, doubt, anxiety, find a way to override it. Watch some comedy, watch a cartoon, take a shower, take a nap. You want to do something that's least resistant to what you are going through.
Yeah, and like, I mean, I love singing. So sometimes I can't read a tune, but like I'm like la la la. I think I can sort of handle it. But that's an excellent point to make. And just to sort of add to that, though, is that right now, especially with all the social media and all that kind of stuff, this is designed to keep you busy and out of your mental state. Because if you really just sit down and you meditate and just pull yourself back from all this, because I think also a lot of people are fearful because they're fearful of the judgment. We always feel that we're being judged, and society judges you because, well, you have a certain skin color, or you're too fat, or you're too skinny, or you're too short, or you're too tall, all that kind of stuff. All of that is, like you're saying, is illusion. But I think that if we get out of the idea of being judged, because I think that's a big thing, and also there's a lot of toxicity as well in the work environment. Like the work environment is causing people to have PTSD. I know I had that. I worked in an office, and sometimes you have this crazy boss that drives you nuts, and it's all that kind of anxiety that builds up. And I can tell you that it definitely leads to disease. It definitely leads to disease, and stuff like cancer and all that. That's a lot of stress. That's a lot of people, and scientists have said that stress is one of the main causes of disease. It is. So it's really about just getting control.
Yeah, and it's important to understand that all stress is you don't have the ability to have better control over you. You need to master you just a little bit better, right? That's what stress is, because other than that, you're the only one creating it. No one outside of you is creating that stress. Only you. Because if you recognize that no one controls you, right?
Yeah.
We don't control anyone. We don't control ourselves. Recognize that. It's easier to recognize that stress is not even real. It's just a word.
Yeah. And also people take on other people's stuff too. Don't take on other people's stuff if they have an issue. You have to, like you said, pull yourself away from that. So I'm just going to go to the next question. So I have a question here.
Hold on 1 second. I just want to say one more thing to her question. It's important to recognize that when you have fear, don't attempt to meditate to help fear. It's not going to help. It's going to make it work.
Oh, really? Okay. Whoops.
Yeah.
And why? Because and so, but meditation. Some people do meditate. Would you say there are certain other aspects to do other than meditation, if it causes fear or accentuates
Well,
fear?
what it exaggerates the fears because when you sit still, you're not really meditating. Your mind is still going, the
Okay.
thoughts are still going, the
Okay.
feelings are still going. So the longer you sit, you're picking up that same momentum. It's not going to help with the shift.
Got it.
So to really help with that shift, do the things that you love.
Okay.
Take a nap, take a shower, take a walk, comedy. Do the things that you really love. And enjoy a pet, your children. Do those things to distract that monkey mind.
Okay. Yeah. So it's true. The monkey mind. It is hard to tame. You're right. So I'll go into the next question. I have here from Abby Ludwig. Are there certain life forms on Earth that are naturally attuned to a higher frequency? I've always thought cats are connected to higher energies. That's nice. I have a cat too. I like cats.
Yeah, absolutely. All the animals are. Every single one of them. They haven't ever left source. They're still right in tune with source. They're smarter than us, let me tell you. But we're the only ones that feel like we're separated from source, right? That don't realize we're still very in tune like the animals are, but we just lost that feeling of source. So we think we're separated, but we're not.
Okay.
But definitely all the animals here, the birds, all of it, and even the grass, the trees, the rocks, they're sentient beings too.
Absolutely.
They're all still very in tune and still have a very high vibration.
Exactly.
So that's why when you're sick, you can go out into nature and heal yourself because that high vibration is right there. You can even hold your pet and they'll heal you.
Exactly. No, for sure. Absolutely. And I mean, dogs and cats don't have to go to a 9 to 5 and scroll through
Right?
social media. So that's why they're so cool and so relaxed. So I have another question here. So from Kevin L, he says, is there a species of being that look like an insect? I know there's been talk about mantids, but did you want to sort of expand on his question?
There's a lot out there. Anything you can think of or imagine, it's there. Trust me. And there is a cartoon that I've watched with my children, and they're actually in this cartoon. It's called Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
It's an anime. And in this anime, I was surprised to see it because I knew exactly what it was. But check it out, Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
But yes, there is definitely a whole species of sentient beings that are insects. Yes.
Okay. And so is that the mantis? Is that correct, or am I thinking of something else?
Mantis is just one of many.
Okay. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And what part do you know? Do you know if there's any what part of the galaxy they're from, or are they from the Pleiades as well? Like, where do these beings come from?
No, because this universe is so big. We're just talking about our sector of the universe. In every universe, there's 12 dimensions. So ours is just one. Right? And there's a multiverse. So could you imagine the thousands that's out there?
Wow. Yeah, definitely. And actually, I had a question. We've heard people talk about blue avians, and they seem to be sort of the group of the moment, as it were. Can you tell us a little bit more about the blue avians? Because I know we have different stories about who they are and what they do.
Well, the blue avians, just one second.
Sure.
The blue avians are blue beings, of course, right? And there's different types of blue avians.
Okay.
So they're spiritually evolved beings that are said to transition from spirit to human. They can shift, but most beings can shift. They're not the only ones. But they're highly creative. They're musical. They're drawn to birds. And when we see them, they look like half bird and half human. That's why they're blue avians, right?
Okay.
And most of the time, they don't like to shift into their bodies. They like to be free, right? Just like we like to be free.
Okay.
They come into our dreams a lot in the form of like spiritual animals, or what do you call it? The totem.
Totem animals? Okay.
Yeah, totem animals. But they're highly spiritual, and they're really good for guidance.
Okay, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. And I have this silly question, but I have to ask it because, I never see anybody. I've never seen a representation of extraterrestrials that look like me. Like, they're African looking. I don't know. Like, is it? I know it sounds like, okay, why bring the race card? It's not so much that. It's just more like I don't know. Like, are there black people out there? I don't know. Just
Well,
curious.
we can't say black
Okay.
because that doesn't even matter. But what I can say is, yes, there are beings that look like you and me and everyone else. Just like I said to the last person who asked about the types of galactic beings, if you can think it, it's done.
Okay.
Right. So you don't see it because you're not aware of it.
Okay.
But when you're aware that the possibilities are endless, you just know innately in your being that it exists. It's there. It's just that in your space, you're not open to it yet. But just be open. Ask your guides. They'll reveal it to you. And there's many civilizations with just women.
Really?
Just women. Oh, yes.
How does anything get done? Okay.
What did you say?
I mean, the technical side of it. I mean, I don't know if it's just women. Where are all the guys? I don't know.
Because remember, only here on Earth we need a guy to have children.
Okay.
In many other worlds, we don't need a man to have children. We can have children on our own.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. I think some ladies are going to find that one very interesting.
Men civilization are androgynous. They don't need another person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. That's food for thought. That's for sure. So I'll go to the next question. I have here Love Z2 Surf. I have, why are we here and who is governing us? If anything or anyone, hence to whom or what do we pray? If anyone or anything at all. So I think he's sort of like, who's governing us? And when we pray, who are we praying to exactly? I think maybe that's what his question is.
I don't know if that question wants a real answer or not. I might shake people's world if I'm honest here.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think people are here. You know what? I think that people can come and they can take what they want from it. And if it's not resonating, then, that's fine. So, I mean, go ahead. Like, knock us out.
First thing is first. We are all here because we decided to come here. No one said you had to come. You chose on your own to come into this planet. And all of us knew before we came in and that veil was put over us. All of us knew what Earth was about. We knew Earth was a giant university to come in and learn and grow and experience. And when you transition back home, you have a big story to tell your family. Wow, look what I did. I went to Earth and I did this. That's why you came. You also came to be part of the shift of the ages. We are going into a whole new era, a whole new epoch. That's huge. And so many of us wanted to come in and be a part of it. Some of us wanted to be light workers and starseeds. Some just wanted to come for the fun. Some just wanted to come for the challenge. Because it helps your being to learn, to grow, and expand, right?
Exactly.
So running the planet, dark forces is. Okay. It's not our world's government, okay? They like to call them Illuminati, the Cabal. Dark forces are the reptilians, the Draconians, the Orions. They run this planet, okay? Since 26,000 years, they've been running this planet. But things are coming to an end. That whole system is being shut down and being revealed to everyone. All of his question, was there another part of his question?
No, there was another part, but I actually just wanted to sort of tack on something there. I just wanted to know, a lot of people have been talking about, for example, this is an illusion, this is the Matrix. And so when we finally get this contact, is it going to be sort of something like, The Matrix, the movie, where you sort of like take a red pill and then, or a blue pill and you're like, boop, you're sort of like, oh, This looks different.
No,
Is it? No?
no. What's happening is that blue pill, red pill idea, that timeline already passed. And
Okay.
most people don't know because, again, we are duped into believing that a rapture is coming. The man named Jesus is coming to get the good people and leaving the bad people behind, right? But what really happened and transpired over some time now is we all had that decision to make if we wanted to move into a higher state of being, right? Or stay behind and stay in the 3D world and continue the journey of the dualistic world.
Okay.
That's what the blue pill and red pill was. And we've had time, but nobody would know because the government doesn't talk about it. I'm in Clubhouse, and for the past 5 years in Clubhouse, that's all I've been talking about. I've been desperately attempting to reach people, my brothers and sisters. But just like Noah, when Noah said it's going to rain, it's going to flood, no one believed him, right?
Exactly, until the last minute, yeah.
I've been talking about open disclosure, galactic beings coming, you have to decide, and no one was really listening because they don't believe it, right? So here we are, fast forward today, blue pill, red pill is out the door. There's no more time to decide. It has been decided for you. Excuse me.
Yeah.
If you haven't made a decision on which way you're moving, now your guides are going to decide for you based on your vibration.
Okay. So it's important to get your vibration up, I guess. That's pretty much straightforward.
You can try, but a vibration doesn't go up in a day, a week, or even a month. It takes time.
Okay.
So what you can do is hold love and light for yourself, hold love and light for your brothers and sisters. And that's the fast way, the fast track to raising your vibration, is staying in that vibration for as long as you can.
Okay. That's excellent. Thank you so much. So I have here another question. What have we got? Okay. So Love to also ask another question. He says, how do we create our good fortune, positive and highest and the best for all involved outcomes? Is there such a thing as good luck or bad luck, or all of the above, or something else? So basically, how do we create, I guess, if I could translate it, is basically how do we create our reality for the good or for bad? Are we creating what good or bad?
You need to recognize that there is no such thing.
Okay.
It's the illusion of this dimension that you're in, the 3D world. It already is innately built in within us, right? But when you start to say somebody's lucky, somebody's bad or good, or you're separating yourself each time. So when you recognize that I already have the good luck, I already have the goodness within me, all you need to do is sit with it and be thankful. Thank whoever you want to call on, God, source, divinity, goddess, whatever it is, call upon them and say thank you. Thank you, because I already have what I need within me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that some people are also thinking, as you go on YouTube, you see all these videos about how to manifest this and the secret and all that jazz.
It's a distraction to pull you away from the true secret that your God is right within you, right there where you're standing. But you'll never find your God or goddess if keep going outside of you and searching and searching. It's going to continue to distract you and pull you away.
Okay. So with that in mind, could I, for example, if I'm going within, could I, for example, call upon my guides or my guardian angels to help me in a certain situation? Like if I'm trying to, maybe not so much good luck or bad luck, but, call upon my guides to help me in a certain situation, that sort of thing.
Yes, absolutely. Because even though we're here with free will, people need to understand that free will is kind of 50-50, right?
Okay.
We have free will to decide with clarity what we want. But then once we decide what we want, the other part of free will is our guides, our ancestors, our angels. They're there to co-create with you and give you those experiences. So you decide what you want with clarity. But how you get it, when you get it, is up to them. It's not up to you. But most times people get so distracted, they don't realize they need to give up that free will to them to help them orchestrate those experiences.
And I guess also to trust them as well, right? To trust the process.
Yeah, but it's hard to trust the process because it takes so long. You're not seeing it, right? Like you manifest a house, but you're not seeing it coming, so you give up. That's what happens to most people. You don't stay consistent. You give up. You have doubts, and it slows down that manifestation.
Got it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that there's also this aspect of once you ask for it and you're in that space, then you give it over, as you're saying, to the guides, and you may not see it, but they're working on it, and it may not come in a way that you think it's going to come, but it would, I guess, whatever the way it comes is actually better for you than like, well, I wanted this red house, but actually this orange house might be better for this reason. That kind of thing. Yeah.
And it's important to understand that the signs are there. They give you signs, but you are so distracted, you're not even seeing the signs that's right before you.
Yeah. But again, you know, that's the society. That's a society distracting us, because that's a part of the dark forces as well, is to distract, as you're saying, and it also to sort of give us all the stuff that's going on and all the social media and all that kind of stuff. It's a distraction, because I can tell you, before the social media and all that kind of stuff, I think people were still, some people had distractions here and there, but I find that since the implication of social media and the Facebook and the, you know, all this stuff, it's just takes us so far away from reaching a quieter mind. That I think that adds to the monkey mind, as it were. You know? Yeah, I think that adds to the monkey mind of like always having stuff like we have so much information coming in to our heads more than ever. And
yeah, but
so, you know.
And you know what's funny about that, Crystal?
Yeah.
We think an average of 90,000 thoughts a day. 70,000 thoughts are not our own.
Wow.
You see why I say don't sit and meditate?
Okay. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it sort of feels like your thoughts are thinking you at this point, because like, I mean, it's like there's so much going on, but also we're getting more information. I'd heard something, I can't remember exactly what it was, but we are receiving more information in a day than, let's say, people in the Middle Ages received in a lifetime, that kind of thing. Like we have so much information coming into our eyes, and you know, you take the subway or you walk on the street and you see the ads and these screens and all that kind of stuff. But it's there specifically to distract you, because if everybody's calm and relaxed, and you know, because when you're calm, you can hear the subtle messages, you can see things, but if you're always distracted and you know, it's not going to happen. So that's sort of where that's going. So I'll go to another question. She said, this is interesting. Abby Ludwig, she says, what can you do if higher energies become spiritually overwhelming? I think I know what she means by that.
Well, this is why I'm not on screen.
Exactly.
So when higher energies become overwhelming, it depends on what you're doing. If you're meditating, you need to stop. If you are being still, you need to stop. What you need to do when that happens is ground yourself. Okay, get outside in nature, walk barefoot, enjoy the sun, get in water if you can, right? You have to find ways to ground yourself and bring yourself back down if you're vibing that high.
So would, like, for example, could I don't know, do a lot of exercise and run and jump, and then this way I can sort of expel a lot of that energy, that whole sort of kinetic kind of crazy, like all that crazy energy that's inside is
helps, but only to a certain degree. What helps more is being one with nature.
Okay.
One with nature, the sunlight, you know, walking barefoot, and, you know, just really grounding yourself back. If you feel like the higher energies are too intense, but it can also mean you might not be doing the work. I don't know. That question is really an open question, because I don't know what she's doing.
You know what? I can't interpret what she's saying, but I'd like to sort of take a segue on that question, though, because a lot of people have been feeling the higher energies coming down. Like, for example, pains in their back or pains in certain parts of the body, their ankles, because of so much energy is coming down that the body is getting, like, it's being overwhelmed.
Okay, so she's
You know what I
talking
mean?
about ascension symptoms.
Okay, I think that's more of where that's coming from. Yeah.
Okay, so if she's saying ascension symptoms, it means that you have work to do.
Okay.
Those ascension symptoms coming in, the higher energies coming in, it's purging out the dense energy within your being of the lower states, right?
Okay.
So that means you have work to do to purge it out, to release it. That's
Okay.
what that's. So you're going to have to hydrate, number one. That's very important when you're going through ascension symptoms. When you feel it's too heavy, take a nap, rest, eat lots of fruits and vegetables, drink lemon water or coconut water. Remember that water by itself dehydrates your body. It does not hydrate.
Yeah.
Drink lemon water, coconut water to help to hydrate. And again, get out in nature. If you have a pet, love on your pet.
Okay. Yeah. And it's true. A lot of people don't drink enough water. That is a big thing. And I've heard that from many people who are energy workers. They say drink lots of water because that'll help to sort of flush out, like, again, in general, your body, but also to sort of keep the energy moving and flowing. So that's something I've heard of many times before. So I'll move on to the next question. I have here Samari, and she asked an interesting question. Samari says, what is the name of the celestial water planet? I don't know if I...
I don't know. Celestial, many planets are celestial and have water. So
Okay. Okay.
almost every planet is not like Earth. I want to tell you, there's very few planets similar to Earth.
Okay.
And the ones that are not, they're celestial and they're full of water everywhere. So it could be the Pleiades, Andromeda. All those planets have plenty of.
Just out of curiosity, because just coming to this whole water thing, when you look at some of the ancient on Earth now, and some of the ancient descriptions of ancient beings that came to this planet, that visited this planet, they often talk about many of them being water beings that were living in the water and that were half fish and half man and all that kind of stuff, and a lot of water beings that came to this Earth. Are those the people that came from celestial water planets and they came here and I guess went into the water?
What people need to understand is Earth was way different 26,000 years ago.
Okay. How was it different?
Back with Lemurian Atlantis, the mermaids were here. The fairies were here. This planet was magical before it fell into the 3D density. So that story and that history will be revealed too.
Okay.
Whole story that you guys learned about this planet is very untrue.
Yes.
Very untrue. This was a planet full of every type of sentient being. But when dark forces came in and started hunting and killing and doing everything they did, they were banished from the planet.
Does that tie in as well with the idea of the Great Flood, where the Great Flood was here to like wipe out everything, and there's like aspects of the Bible in here, but there's other aspects because it's not just the Bible. There are many different ancient traditions that talk about this great big purge and all this water coming in and wiping out pretty much a life on the planet.
That story was not true either. That's a very fictitious story. I'm not going to go into detail, but what I can tell you is when that flood happened, it was not the entire planet. It was not.
Okay.
It was only part of the planet. And Lemurian Atlantis, when it fell, a lot of it went right where that Bermuda Triangle is.
Oh, really? Oh. Did you want to comment on the Bermuda Triangle? That's an interesting segue.
The Bermuda Triangle is a giant portal.
Yeah.
Giant portal. And that's why you see people who go in that area, that region, disappear and never come back. they went through the portal. Once you go through, you're not coming back.
Well, what's interesting, I'm not sure if people know this, but if you look at the planet Earth and you have the Bermuda Triangle here, you actually have the Devil's Triangle in Japan. It's like a direct, position on the planet. That's kind of interesting. I don't know what's happening there, but there seems to be many portals on the planet. It's like there's the Bermuda Triangle, the Devil's Triangle. There are other places on Earth as well where people sort of go in and disappear, and that's kind of interesting. So, yeah.
People also recognize is the ocean is vast.
Yeah.
There is other dimensions and portals within the oceans itself.
Yeah.
Okay, this planet is huge. There's many parts of this planet that's unknown to us that have portals, that have dimensions. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I know that, for example, the First Nations, I think that live near the Grand Canyon talk about portals there as well. There are certain aspects of the Grand Canyon that have portals. And oddly enough, the American government have closed off certain aspects of the Grand Canyon because they don't want people finding out about some of these caves that are there. And they've literally just blocked them off because they have a lot of portals, but also a lot of ancient artifacts that will challenge the history that we've been taught in school. So that's...
That truth is coming, and the Grand Canyon itself was created through a galactic war that was never spoken about.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay. So we'll move on. Another one from Abby Ludwig. She says, it's a bit of a silly one, but I like it. She says here, could my cat be an intergalactic being in disguise to act as a spiritual guide? I always felt that she had a very Andromedan energy to her. Thoughts?
Absolutely, yes. Yes. All of our animals are. And they choose to come in with us because they're part of our soul tribe. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. And just on that note, I've heard of intergalactic beings that look like lions. Are those the same? Are the cats here on Earth, I don't know, cousins, as it were, of those are those
Other
Lyrans? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, brothers, sisters, cousin, call it whatever you want. But yes, that's where they come from, the Lyrans.
Lyrans, okay. Okay, that's great. Yeah, I'd be very impressed to see like a big giant cat, but and like, arms and legs and saying hi. I would find that very cool, like a giant cat. He'd probably be offended if I tried to stroke his head though. So, but you're so cute. So I'll just continue here. This is interesting. I have another interesting question. It's probably going back to the question that I had about as a Black woman myself. She says here, I think Black women are higher beings as you are now. I often wonder what I can do as a white woman to prioritize spiritual healing of women of color. That's an interesting question. I know that's a bit, that's interesting.
Well, the first, to recognize that the race, the color, all of it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Only on Earth do we see it as something that's important. It's not important. And you want to facilitate any form of change, transition, anything that you want, do it with you first. That's how you help anyone else, by starting with you. When I recognize, even though on this planet I'm considered, I'm Jamaican, German, and Lebanese. And when I wasn't raised to look at any part of me as being different. I just knew I was a person until I came to the United States, and people were like, what are you, Black, white?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I started walking with the belief that, okay, I got to be something, right?
Exactly.
But then once I woke up and recognized that none of it mattered, that helped me to really start seeing from a higher perspective and seeing everyone as just that light of source coming in to experience. And that's going to be the least of your worries, your concern. Right now, all you want to do is hold love and light for yourself first. and then it will trickle out into everyone else and everything else.
And you know, it's interesting because I actually knew a woman from Germany, and she was much older than myself, and she had said, you know, when I was growing up, she said the same thing. I wasn't taught anything about color or anything like that. And then at one point, somebody says, well, there was some sort of thing that happened. She says, well, you know, you're not black, you're white. And she says, honestly, I didn't know. She said, I didn't know
Right.
that there was color. She said, it's only when somebody mentioned it that she said, I thought everything was the same. She said, I didn't even notice. And so it shows how it goes back to what you're saying about how we have to unlearn what we've been
Yes.
taught, because you know you don't really know about it until you have your parents or
Yes.
society or this or your friends all say, well, you know, people of color are here and white people are there, or these people are there, all that kind of stuff. It's really something that it's put there to separate us.
Separation, distraction,
Yes,
again and again. So the more they can separate your being from everyone and everything,
exactly,
even your own self, you'll
exactly.
never find the truth. The truth, God is right there within you.
Yeah,
And God is talks to you every day. There isn't
exactly.
a day that goes by that I communicate with the goddess within me. There's no separation.
Yeah,
None.
yeah. There's no separation, but the thing is that because you have all the distraction and the social media and all that kind of stuff, you don't hear it. It's so subtle, you know.
Right.
And so there's all this cacophony and noise to drown out the
Right.
actual voices that are coming to us. Very. That's what I'm saying. You know. Yeah. So maybe not meditation, but if you're just quiet, you know, like walk into a quiet forest or just walk around quietly, you will hear that. You know, you will
Yeah.
hear the messages coming to you.
That's very distinctive about Prime Creator is a feeling. It's a feeling, not just hearing, but feeling. You can feel it walking with you everywhere you go. It's a feeling that you just will never ever forget, and you'll always remember. You'll always remember this is Prime Creator.
Yeah, and also a lot of people, just to add to that, a lot of people feel alone. They're saying, "Oh, but you know, I'm alone," and we're not alone. We are really not alone. We have guides, we have Prime Creator, we have everybody. We are always walking with your soul family. You
Yes,
know,
absolutely.
so
But
you
it's
never
also
have to feel
important
alone.
to recognize that some of us, all of us, have to be alone for a period of time in order to get there, to recognize that God is within you. You're going to have to go through solitude for some time.
Yeah,
That's part of that programming, being released.
yeah, but it would be, but again, like being alone in order to hear or in order to feel.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. We have another question here from Sienna Jackson. When you reach your highest potential, can you move on to different dimensions and live with other types of beings? So I guess it's sort of like shifting timelines. I think it's sort of what
Yeah.
she's trying to.
Yes, absolutely. Once you shift, the more you shift, you get that ability to go back to where you started. And that's how all of us started. We were able to shift and go to any dimension we wanted and travel interdimensionally. Yes. Oh, yes. The possibilities are endless.
Okay.
And don't you think that's worth fighting for, right? To
Absolutely.
shift your vibration into a higher state of being so you can go back to the joys of being a multidimensional being.
That's excellent. Thank you so much. I have another question here from Kiki Covers. She says here, does the atmosphere or ether look wavy to anyone? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I know what she means.
Okay.
So we're shifting timelines, number one, right? And so the timelines are all crashing into each other, so to speak.
Okay.
And the 3D matrix is also crashing. So you're going to see some weird things. You glitches. I've seen people even show videos of the sky glitching or a wall glitching. Yeah. These things are happening because we're shifting back into the here and now. So when things look wonky or weird or glitching, that's what's happening. The matrix is dissolving. And not only is it an illusion, but it's a game. It really is.
Yeah, yeah.
We're all part of a big computer game.
But that sort of goes back to what I was saying about how when you have the movie The Matrix and you have Neo and he wakes up, like, you know, he has all these pipes and things sort of pulled out and then he's waking up. So he had a certain idea of what his reality was, where he was working in an office, and then all of a sudden his reality was completely turned upside down. And he would see glitches as well, like he saw two
Right.
cats walking by, that sort of thing. So
Yes.
is it in that kind of vein?
That's exactly what it is. And that's why I'm saying when 2025 come in and people start to really wake up, a lot of people are going to lose their minds to realize none of it is real. Even the people you thought that died horrifically, they played the game too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, a lot to think about there. I have here from Kevin L. He says it's a silly question, but why not? He says, is the planet flat or round?
I love it because I see a lot of people in Clubhouse arguing this point. So
Yeah.
what I want people to think about with this question is when you look at other celestial bodies, what do you see? The sun, the moon,
They're round.
everything else round. Even our wombs, our eggs are round. There's no planet that's flat ever. Not in prime creators universes.
That's true.
Everything is round because the feminine nature for all of us
The womb.
is it's round. It's the womb.
The womb.
Yes,
Yeah,
the tree of
absolutely.
life. All
Absolutely.
of it.
Yeah, okay.
All of it.
Well, I mean, that makes a lot of sense because it's true, because the sun is round. When you look at the sun in the sky,
Yes.
you don't see a
moon-
flat disc. You
yes.
see,
And all the other planets, everything is round. Yes.
yeah. Okay, so let's moving right along. Can you address divine synchronicities, angel power numbers, etc.?
Well, typically, all of those things are just an indication that your guides are contacting you or communicating with you. It's that simple. It's that simple. When you see the numbers come up, synchronicities, it's a sign that you could be on your way to your dreams, your manifestations. That's all it is. It is your guides showing you we're here and we're working with you collectively.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's very interesting. That's very interesting. I like that.
Because remember, they can't communicate with us the way we communicate, right?
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Their way of communicating with us. That's what I'm saying. The signs are always there. But sometimes we don't recognize it. It could even be a feather, a bird's feather.
Exactly.
Your
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying,
even
is that
trees.
people have this idea that it's going to be this Hollywood thing where you're going to have somebody come out of a cloud and stand there and say, look, this is what's going on. And that's not it.
Right. One time, one of my guides kept giving me pennies, right? I could say pennies from heaven.
Oh.
And I've been finding pennies left and right, left and right. And I knew exactly who it was leaving those pennies. But what I'm saying to say is, pay attention. It could be something that simple on a license plate, on a billboard, on the television.
Exactly.
They're always there.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I definitely get that. Let's moving right along. We have Reverend Leslie Peters. Is the thermonuclear chimney rock found in the divine cosmos?
Wait, say that again?
Is thermonuclear chimney rock found in the divine cosmos? I'm not sure if I understand that one.
I don't either. I don't know what she's
Okay.
referring to.
I'm not sure what that is. So we'll move on. Kiki covers. When we are in the fifth dimension, does that mean that we have a 12-strand DNA?
Yes. All of our grids will be back in full alignment, so everything will be as it was meant to be. And you know how they say we have junk DNA?
Yeah.
No such thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The junk DNA is what's awakening now. It's the dormant DNA that was waiting for the new era.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm also hearing different ideas of people saying that the junk DNA, when we were around in I guess Atlantis or Lemuria, that DNA was a lot more active, and so people had a lot more abilities. And somehow that DNA was dampened down by the dark forces in order to take away our ability to fully connect or to fully, do a lot of the things that we would consider now magical, but back then was just considered normal. And so it was dampened down.
Yeah, I talked about it briefly in my
Yeah.
presentation.
Oh.
Absolutely. Our grids were interrupted um, back when Lumiere and Atlantis fell. We were in 5D worlds. We were all very powerful. We knew who we were. We had magic. But once dark forces came in, they tampered with our DNA and our cells. They created old age, which was
Exactly.
never in our DNA,
Yeah.
right? They even created the woman's period.
Yeah, that was what the up is that?
It's
You
not
know?
a thing. Right. That is not a thing. So a lot of the things that we're experiencing now was
Just stupid.
created by tampering with our cells, with our DNA. But just remember, these things are always being done. It's not the first, second, third, fourth time. Galactic beings are experimenting. Experiments have been happening for millions of years.
Yeah. Well, that whole menstrual thing was a complete. I'll take a hard pass on that one. Um, I can hear the women at home laughing. Okay.
Right? But the interesting thing, Crystal, is when I learned that probably 20, 25 years ago, I knew exactly what to do to stop that process. And I did stop that process 25 years ago now.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Do you want to get into it or
Not here.
not here? Okay. We'll have another day, another conversation for that another day. So I have another question here. I was in space where a spiritual healing was occurring for someone. Later that night, in the wee hours, I briefly fell asleep while on the phone with my spiritual warrior auntie. And in a flash, I saw Baphomet standing across the way from me, watching me, yet was unafraid and haven't seen him or since. Do you have any thoughts on this?
I mean, it's your experience. So I'm not sure what's happening with you in that moment. But I feel like that's happening because of the experience that you had. I would just pay attention to any signs, any symbols, or anything like that. But I don't think it's anything to really be concerned about. Visions come and visions go.
Yeah.
It's happening for an experience. But if you don't understand, it's okay.
Okay.
Need to move forward.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. I have another question here, and it goes back to what we were talking about energy and ascension symptoms. It says here, my nervous system can't handle technology. Even now, being here, watching this show, my jaw is tremoring. It seems to hijack my cognition. I am a Rh negative blood type, and anyone else experience this? So I've heard a lot of talk about the Rh negative blood type, which is a rare blood type, but it seems to be very, very particular. Did you want to comment on that?
I think if you're highly sensitive, I'm highly sensitive, and this is why I'm not on screen.
Exactly.
I sit in the dark a lot because I'm extremely sensitive to light, to sound. You just have to find ways to help yourself to balance. There are many, many crystals that you can use to help yourself.
I was going to ask that.
I would research. Shungite is really good.
Shungite? That's a black crystal, I think, right? Shungite?
Right. You can get a nice size shungite and keep that as a necklace or a bracelet. You want to get some water in your home if you don't have like maybe a little water fountain and put crystals in it. You have to start finding ways to help yourself to ground, especially if you're around electronics often. You can buy crystals to put on your electronics as well. And one of the things that's really good, and people are not aware of this for grounding, are pennies.
Really?
Pennies,
why is that?
Yeah. Pennies are copper. Okay.
Yeah.
The older the penny, the better it is. Just throw pennies all through the house around your electronics. That helps a lot.
Okay. Note to self. Okay, that's really good. That's I didn't think about that. So another question here, she says here, is disclosure happening sometime in 2025 or January 1st? Interesting. Because I know you mentioned in your presentation that next year is going to be rather special
Yeah.
because there's going to be a lot of contact. Did you want to sort of expand on that?
Well, disclosure has been happening already behind the scenes for a lot of people. Like I said, the star seeds, the light workers, we've known about open disclosure at least 20, 30 years, but now it's happening faster and quicker as we're at a point of no return on this planet. You know, like I said, there will not be a World War III, but the wars that you see happening, it has to stop. The planet cannot take any more damage from, you know, the wars that we're seeing, right? And when the wars happen, what else happens? Earthquakes,
Exactly.
tornadoes, storms, right? So we're at the point of no return.
Okay.
And the point of no return means we're going to either move forward into our planet being inhabitable and none of us being here, or we can move forward into making the planet a better space for all of us to continue being here, which is what we already agreed to collectively. Almost 99% of us agreed to this many years ago, subconsciously. Most of us are not aware. See, when we go to sleep at night and we leave our bodies, we commune, we get together, and we talk about what we want for our planet, for our future, for our children. And then we come back and we forget.
Exactly.
Right?
No, for sure. And I mean, a lot of people have talked about that, of like, you know, being in great halls and people are discussing things.
Right.
You know.
But because I'm a sleeping psychic, I retain memory of all my dreams and all my travels, right? So we come back here and now we're living out the here and now. Right? We're living out what's going on right here, right. Right.
Okay, so I just have a quick two questions on that, though, just quickly. One, if there's somebody, like some country that tries to do something crazy, would that incite ships landing and saying, no, we're not having that? That's
They
the
don't
first.
have land. We have to remember galactic beings have advanced technology. They already know what's happening before it happens.
Okay.
We also have to remember galactic beings are telepathic. They don't use words.
Okay.
So they can read minds, they can scan people, they can do so much that we can't even imagine, right? So we never have to worry about galactic beings. If they really wanted to come here and destroy, it would have
Yeah,
been
no,
done.
that would have. Yeah, no. That's that whole thing
Right.
of the you know, the alien invasion.
Right.
And I know you and I talked about this briefly the other day, and we were saying how that's just absolute BS, and it has nothing to do. I mean, people who are watching this, please know there is no alien invaders. They're not going to come here and shoot us and all that nonsense. That is just a scare tactic. And if anybody
Right.
knows the word Project Bluebeam, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So please, if you walk away from this with anything, please know there's no alien invasion. Absolute crap. And my second question, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and a second question to that, I'm sure people are probably thinking about it. Right now, you heard about all the drones and all that kind of stuff. Did you want to comment? Because people will say, well, yeah, but if there's, you know, the aliens are not going to do this, then are there drones? Are they, what's happening with the drones? Are they man-made? Are they ETs? A lot of people are asking questions.
Of what you just said, Project Bluebeam.
Yeah.
It's American government and their tactics to scare people into believing that ETs are here, attacking, watching. That's all that is. That is not the Galactic Federation.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so then let's move on. I have something here. That's an interesting question here, again from Sienna. Sometimes I think I remember my past lives, but I can't quite make sense of it. Is there any way to make these memories more clear? That's a great question. Because I think some of us would like to know.
You can get a journal, green journal, and start to write down whatever you can remember. If it's a place, a person, a color, a number, whatever it is, just start to write it down. You can start there.
Okay. And I guess if you also, if you're focusing, because I know that, for example, just before you go to bed at night, you can program your mind and say, look, I want to, you know, focus on this or that. Maybe people can focus and say, I want to remember before they go to sleep, and then maybe that would help to jog the memory, as it were.
That can help too, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. So definitely a dream journal. Okay. And we have another question here. And so this goes back to the question that we'd asked and we didn't understand what it was. It says here regarding the thermonuclear chimney rock. Reverend Leslie Peters says it's a rock they found where they think Atlantis was. I stood next to it and felt an incredible peace. So it seems that there was a certain kind of rock that was found that maybe indicates the location of Atlantis. And
well, I mean, I don't know what the rock is, but if she felt that type of peace, that type of peace is what I'm referring to with Prime Creator, the love light of Prime Creator. That's the feeling you have every day of your life. It doesn't go away, right?
But is it related? Maybe, for example, like I'd heard about how Atlantis, the people of Atlantis, the scientists at least, were working with giant crystals. Could these crystals also still be emanating energy?
Yes, it
even
is.
now? Okay.
Listen, Krista, let me tell you something. This is how they claim they find things like found electricity, right? No, that's not it. They stole the grids of Earth. These crystal grids are still here in Earth, in the water. And so what the government does in dark forces is they steal them. They take them over. And so when you see them taking land, taking property, that's what they're doing. When they create wars overseas to take and take and take, that's what they're doing. They're stealing the crystal grids of Earth. There are crystals 100, 500 feet big.
Well,
And they use that to their advantage.
Yeah, well, you know that cave, I think it's in Mexico somewhere, where they have like all these massive, massive crystals that are there, and it's very, very hot and wet and all that, but these crystals are like the size of a house, that sort of thing. I'd love to get, a chunk of that crystal. That must be something else. And I'm crystal, so why not?
Those things are coming. And back in Lumiere Atlantis, that's what we use for the whole planet.
Exactly.
Giant grids, giant crystals, we use those to help all of us on the planet.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd heard a lot of people talking about how we have so many pyramids around the world because a lot of these pyramids were also made with crystalline type of stone, and that helped to channel a lot of the energy. So, like, pyramids are not just, they're not tombs. That's what they're still trying to peddle that old story from Egypt about how they're tombs. I mean, that's just garbage.
Right. All the pyramids were actual portals.
Yeah. And also some of them, if you know of what's his name there, Christopher Dunn, he's done a lot of work with pyramids, and they seem to also be power stations, which I find is very interesting because of the way they're built. And I think that they were able to power ships that were in
portals. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I think that sort of answers that question. And we have a couple more questions before we finish this evening. So I have here, when studied, will a 5D brain structure and function look like traumatic brain injury?
What? Say that again?
It's from Reverend Leslie. I think Reverend Leslie Peters. I think we need to work on our communication here. I think what it is that I think I understand what they're trying to say is that I think the physical body is changing because we're also our energy is being upgraded, and so it look different. Is that going to be seen as something as a problem in today's medicine? I think that's what I'm understanding. So, well, a 5D brain structure. So right now our brains are more 3D, but as we move into the 5D, will our brain structure change and as a result look like brain injury to modern science of today? I think that's what he's trying to say.
Science is going bye-bye. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Science won't even make it into the 4D world because we won't need it. And so is the mind. The mind is not real. We think it is. We perceive it to be. There is no mind. Okay? So that's disappearing too. Remember, as galactic beings, we're telepathic. The words were constructed to distract and separate. But when you're shifting into a higher state of being, the words start to disappear. It really does.
Yeah.
You start to forget words because now you're shifting back into telepathic beings, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the 5D mind and brain, it doesn't exist. There's no such thing. When we shift totally into 5D, we will just be a fluent being to come and go as we please. We won't need the mind. It's not necessary.
Yeah. More on that, I think that when you look at different, when people have contact with extraterrestrial beings, they often say that they just spoke into my mind. It's not words per se, but it's just like they understand what's being said to them.
Right.
And most beings, I think they find it weird. Most beings find it weird that we use words to talk. They're like, what's this? So it's...
It's what we call the knowing. You just have a knowing, right? And we transmute it back and forth. Once you get there, you'll understand better and clearer why the words are not necessary, why the mind is not necessary. The mind was constructed to create division.
And also, I think that as well, back in Atlantis, and definitely Lemuria, people were telepathic. People did do that. Like, it was not really... I mean, I think that we're like you said, we're a lot of our abilities were dampened down, and we had that ability back in those days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We were in 5D world back then. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I think we have about 2 more questions, and then I think we will call it a day. So one of the second to last question here again from Reverend Leslie Peters. We have here, I have, in the self-research I've been conducting, I sense that the 5D physical form, the heart communicates directly with the third eye, bypassing the primitive and executive brain. Do you know anything about this?
In the 5D world, we're going to go right straight into our heart. There will be no mind once again. This is why they talk about you have to be pure of heart in order to shift into a higher state of being. When we were back in Atlantis and Lemuria, we went through our mind, and that's what also created the downfall.
Exactly.
Every time we go through our mind, it creates problems. So we will be going directly through our heart because the heart doesn't lie. It can't lie because it's all about the feeling. Okay?
Exactly.
So that 5D world, the 5D world is about pure awareness. And that means you don't have any attachment, any judgments, any criticisms with yourself or anyone else.
Okay, that makes sense. And I think we'll do one last question here. And it's from Love to Surf. I have here, portals aside, who created the pyramids? Were they made by ancient aliens? A hybrid humanoid humans to connect with other beings, or what? Interesting question. Just close off the evening.
When the earth was one, a utopia, all pyramids were everywhere. That's the first thing. Pyramids were all over this planet.
Yeah.
And who created them? We did. You did. Because you were a galactic being then, okay?
Got it.
So you one of those seeders of those pyramids. We were all galactic beings with advanced technology.
Exactly.
That's how it was created. You were there. I was there. We've had thousands and thousands of lives. Right? There was not a man or a woman that created those pyramids at all. The advanced technology we had was amazing. That's what created those pyramids that are actual portals.
That's great. And so I have a quick question. Is when we shift, there's been a lot of talk of the rise of Atlantis. Is Atlantis going to rise again? Or is Lemuria going to rise again? Or
not necessarily, because when we shift back into our crystalline bodies, whoever is deciding to come for that journey, we won't necessarily need Atlantis, Lemuria, so to speak.
Okay.
the new world that we have will be even more magnificent than that.
Wow.
And so when I say Atlantis and Lemuria, I mean the fairies will come back, the elves, the unicorns, mermaids. We will all be one again on this planet, this actual planet. But before we get there, we need to let go, purge out the 3D world.
Yeah, that makes sense, because also from what I've heard is that a lot of those beings are actually at a different level, just like a slight, not like interdimensional beings, like they're at a different level dimensionally. And so once those dimensions sort of like come together with what we have, we'll be able to see them again. They're there, but we just can't see them.
Exactly.
And,
so your quantum eyes need to open up. So once your quantum eyes open, you'll start to see them.
Yeah.
Already. Like I'm already seeing the fairies, right? When you raise your vibration high enough to get there to match their vibration, those things will open up to you naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. What a night. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to just say, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I want to just say, Oracle Skai Quantum Healer, thank you so much. Really, thank you so much for being with us this evening and for our premiere here on YouTube. So I'm so excited that you were here for our premiere. And love everything that we talked about this evening. And again, to our members, if you want to check out some of the events that we have coming up on Meetup, you can look at meetup.com and look for the Starseeds and Lightworkers Collective. You can join us there as well. And also look for Oracle Skai's School of Unlearning. She has an event coming up next year in the spring. So we definitely should attend that one. And and I will, once we're able to, once we stop the recording, we will put all of Oracle Skai's information below. So you can check out her website and check out all the information and the stuff and all the courses that she offers. So I wanted to say thank you again to everybody for joining us this evening. I hope this is the beginning of many more sessions to come. And we love the questions. Keep them coming. And as well, I just want to say thank you, Oracle, for being with us. And we look forward to working with you again. So love and light, Oracle, and love and light to all our members. And we look forward to seeing you again in the next one. So take care.
And remember to put up the coffee.
We'll put up the coffee. Exactly. We'll put up that information as well. So that'll be in the information below. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you, Oracle.
You're welcome. Have a blessed night, everybody.
Have a blessed night, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.